Yo, what is up, my disciples? It's it's Wow, okay. I just realized I had myself muted that entire time, but hey, it's Omega, aka the Masiah, here to save you from art sins. Welcome back to another live stream. This time I'm going to keep it really short and sweet. Basically, we're going to be drawing heads today, and we're going to be learning how to stylize them, okay? So pretty much finding ways to exaggerate, push, and pull some of the elements of the face and add your own very distinct style to it, so you're not just copying from an image and creating something that's, realism or realistic. So this is a good practice to do because you can just help develop your style a little bit. So what you can see right now on the page is a head that I just drew as warm-up. I don't think it's the best, but I just need to get my hand warmed up. So make sure you do that. Make sure you get your hand warmed up. So like last week, we're building off of last week where we basically were creating mask 1, mask 2, and then adding facial features. We're going to use that same process, but when we add those facial features, we're going to be stylizing those facial features. Okay, so I want this stream to last for an hour, so we're going to end it at about 9 o'clock p.m. And we're going to do 5 heads, and we're going to do them for 10 minutes each. Okay? So feel free to draw along with me while we're doing this, and I'll try to explain stuff as I go along. But again, since this is a live stream, doing both can be a little bit difficult. But I'll answer all the questions at the end of this session, so just go ahead and drop any questions you might have in the chat below. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and get into it. First, I am going to... What am I going to do first? Okay, we're going to turn on our sketch layer. And we'll use the same sketch layer for all these faces. And that was something that I was just doodling. I was doodling some poses. It's always good to doodle some poses. Okay, so the website I'm using is called Sketch Daily. And what's great about this website is that you can click on body part and you can click on head specifically. So this is what we did last week. And we just want to set the timer to 10 minutes. So welcome to anyone and everyone that is here right now. Again, these are going to be 10-minute sessions, so go ahead and get your either drawing app open, or if you're using traditional pencil and paper, go ahead and get that open, and we're going to get started in just a minute. The only thing that I'm doing right now is checking in on my stream so that I can check out the chat for when I go to answer questions and stuff later. Alright, so I got my chat open. And before we get started, we will go ahead and make a little announcement on my Instagram as well, just to let people know that I am streaming. And then we'll go ahead and really get started with this. And then hopefully you guys just let me know if the music is too loud or not. Okay, so 5 faces, 10 minutes each. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be using 2 different brushes, basically a thicker brush and then a smaller brush. But anyways, I guess I don't need to describe that too much. Let's go ahead and get started with the first head. Okay, so like before, we're starting out with that circle. Nothing has changed there, right? Then we draw our center line down, and we draw the edge of the jaw, like so. Square off the chin a little bit. Draw a line right here, and that's going to represent the top of the eyebrow, right? I like to draw in my eye sockets. Nose socket, I guess. And then I like to draw this. Draw on where my eye should go. And just draw on little ovals for the ears. And figure out his hair just a little bit. Okay, so look how just quick and messy that is, right? And that's fine. But again, I go through all those steps of those masks really quickly, and personally I know how stuff is going to kind of look at the end, and I know I'm going to make corrections, so I don't need to get the mask perfect. And for you guys too, you don't have to necessarily get it perfect, but it does help to just build that idea of the mask and where these important features are going to go. And later we can always, of course, come in and correct it as we're actually drawing it. So I'm noticing that my computer actually runs a little bit slower. I decided to stream at a higher resolution today. And I might have to go back to a lower resolution because it is running much slower for me today than it was the other time that we did this. But I'm going to try my best with what we have for right now. Okay, so basically, I don't want to talk too much because I'm going to run on my 10 minutes pretty quickly if I do. But I want to basically exaggerate a couple things. The first thing that I want to exaggerate in my style is the actual face shape. And I'm noticing that like his face shape is, I don't know, it's kind of tapered. He's kind of got this tapered face shape. So we're going to switch this to 9 pixels. He's got this, kind of tapered head that's going outwards towards the top like this. And that's pretty prominent. So I'm going to just try to push his shape face first. And also what's important with this stylization is that you want to see what facial feature is really different from average. What I noticed is that he has big ears, he has a relatively small mouth compared to average, and just the shape of his eyes is also pretty distinct, okay? So we're gonna try to get and exaggerate pretty much all those features. So those ears that we noticed, let's try making them, that much bigger, right? Because when we're stylizing, we want to do a couple things, and one of those things is kind of pushing the features and exaggerating those features, but obviously not in a way that's offensive or anything like that. You're just pushing some of the head shapes and whatnot, okay? And part of your style isn't just about exaggerating features. It is actually how you just render features in general. So, for example, like for my ears, I typically use a very similar shape every time that I do them. So instead of copying the way his ears look, I'm just going to draw these ears based on how I know to draw them and using my style, correct? So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and draw in the eyes. When I draw in eyes, I like to start with placing some lines on either edge of the eye so I know what distance they are apart. Now, what I like to observe on the picture is basically how far that spacing is for this current character that I'm drawing, and I'm going to try to imitate that a little bit. Okay. And right now, I'm focusing on just eye shape. okay? So my style is kind of a mix between realistic and cartoon and some influence from manga. So while I'm going through and drawing this stuff, I try to, remember what my style is to know what kind of exaggerations I will want to put into this character. Okay. I typically don't draw the bridge of the nose too much in my characters. I like to draw underneath the nose though, because there's a lot of shadow there, and where there's shadow, that's where you're going to get those deeper lines, okay? So I draw underneath here, underneath the nose, and I just draw this little kind of cup around the nose, just like so. And that's how I draw noses, right? Some people can come in here and actually add a ridge, right? And that's fine. That's another way to draw noses. I keep my noses very simple and minimalistic. For my eyebrows, I like to focus on shape design for the eyebrows. So instead of drawing each individual hair, I focus on the overall shape of the eyebrow. And I usually break it up into two shapes. One shape being right here, and then another shape right here. Okay, so we're gonna duplicate that over to this other side. Now drawing a head on like this, it can be frustrating. It's oftentimes frustrating for me because I'm not super good with the symmetry, so I'm really trying my best here to get the symmetry just right. Okay, so here's the feature that I was saying before that's really noticeable on him. He has a really small mouth, so we're going to exaggerate just how small his mouth is. And I'm going to put the center line of his mouth just about like right here. Normally the mouth goes to the middle of the eye, and in this case his goes to the edge of his nose. So we're going to stop his mouth right there and right there. The way I draw mouths is that I just draw a little bit of the bottom lip, and then usually for guys I don't even draw this upper lip. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop with this bottom lip and keep this mouth really small, and this shadow right here is gonna basically tell if he's smiling or not smiling as much. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw on the pupil. The pupil I keep really simple. Again, my style is just kind of like simplified realism, okay? So I'm gonna keep the pupil just really simple, just like that. And now we're gonna go ahead and start detailing in his hair and his hairline. So his hairline kind of starts at the top of that ear right there, and then kind of comes in like this, and then the same thing for this side as well. Okay. Now I feel like this is probably a good time to flip the canvas just to see what mistakes I've already made. And I'm probably gonna give myself a little bit more than 10 minutes for this first one, just because I'm drawing a little bit slow and I'm trying to explain things a lot. The next few faces, I'm going to use this concept of basically making use of our gesture type drawing and apply that to drawing faces, meaning that instead of drawing really tight like I am right now, I draw a little bit more loose, and I draw some more of those like flowing lines. So that's what I mean by that. Okay, so this isn't too bad, but this ear is a little bit too high, and I don't know, the face shape is pretty much okay, I think. Okay, so I can see it changing. We're gonna have to bring it back and pause for a little bit. We're just gonna give myself another like 5 minutes. So this is the warm-up, so it's okay if you need a little bit more time. There's no reason to feel bad about needing time to complete a drawing. There's no rush to complete a drawing. I just set 10 minutes so that way we could, get through a certain amount of faces, right? Just to kind of give myself some sort of schedule. while we're going through and creating this, okay? You never need to feel like you're in a rush while you're drawing. Sometimes I put the timer on, mostly for when I'm doing gesture and I'm trying to force myself to be looser, right? It is good to be loose while you're drawing, but you don't need a rush, okay? Get those eyebrows in there, okay. I'm gonna turn this back on just for now. So again, this style that I'm like working in, let me go ahead and plug in my charger, is very simplifying in cartoons. So when I'm drawing, when I'm stylizing, I'm thinking about big shapes. I'm not thinking about individual hairs right now, right? I'm thinking about grouping these hair chunks together, right? And then, you know, perhaps when I paint it, I can add in some more individual strands, but that's not what we're doing right now, okay? Okay, so he's got quite a bit of hair up here, and kind of comes back in, and got some hair sweeping over to the side. And the same thing right here. Alright, and we'll get something like this, right? So stylization is about how you see shape design, how you see shape language, and again, these types of concepts we will be covering later, so don't feel like, oh, I have no idea how he's deciding some of the stuff, how he's making these decisions, how does he know what the shape language should be. So while I'm looking at this picture, I'm analyzing it. I'm analyzing it and I'm breaking it down for myself, first and foremost. Like what shapes jump out at me, right? And then I try to essentially take those big shapes and kind of make an interesting shape with them. And if you don't know necessarily what an interesting shape would be, that's okay. It's something that kind of comes with time and it comes with your style. And then you'll notice that you develop your own kind of shape language. And it's going to be different from any other artist because only you know what shapes, you know, you like most. Okay? Alright, so I'm ready to move on to the next face now. So this one we're going to be a little bit more loose with it. We're going to see just how it comes out. But again, stylizing the face is all about experimentation. And if you mess up or if you're not happy with the result, don't even like stress about it or don't even worry about it, right? You'll have time to do it again or do another one or do another study. So just kind of keep that in mind as we're doing these. Alright, here we go, 10 minutes. Let's actually try to stick with 10 minutes this time. Oh, I must have accidentally canceled out of it. I meant to go to the next one. Okay, it's okay, we'll just start it again. Go to heads. We're gonna do 10 minutes, and we can go ahead and start. Okay. So again, we kind of start off with this sketch. That circle represents our cranial mass. We draw on the side plane, which is going to help us locate where this jaw is going to start. And we notice that her jaw has a very two-section kind of look to it, okay? Okay. And so while we're drawing this, I'm going to kind of use my techniques of gesture, because I'm going to basically see how these lines connect and move within the face without making such a rigid structure of a mask like we would before, right? Okay. So after you learn the structure, learn how to pretty much be a little bit more loose with it as well. And so that's going to bring some more life to your drawings and your sketches, and it's going to make it look less rigid. So a lot of beginner artists are told to draw with boxes, which is great because you're starting to build form and you're starting to develop volume. But then as you keep on increasing with your skill, you want to keep that knowledge of your volume, right? But you want to be able to add, flow to your lines as well. So it kind of, you got to build up your draftsmanship skills as well. And that comes with time, that comes with practice, and it kind of comes with just drawing over and over again, and you start to develop your own drawing style, right? Drawing patterns, the way you hold your pencil, right? You're going to develop all that stuff, but you definitely need to take it one step at a time. But you do want to draw loose, and so that's what I'm kind of showing right here, is keeping it loose. And if you make a mistake, it's okay, because you can go back and erase it. And so what a lot of beginner artists sometimes make a mistake of, especially when drawing the face, is that they feel like it must be like it's absolutely perfect face, or it has to be like really pretty or something like that. And so they won't push the face. They won't push themselves to, make it look different, because they're afraid of of making it ugly. And let me tell you, one, you need to appreciate, all different kinds of faces. And it's like true beauty is well, one, in the eyes of the beholder, but there is so much beauty and variety, right? So don't think, oh, if I'm drawing a girl, like I can't draw on a chin, or I can't make her jaw too defined. It's like, no, push your features in any kind of way, right? And try to focus on creating the feeling of that face, rather than just trying to create a pretty face over and over again, because you need to have variety in your characters when you're creating a story, right? And trust that no matter how different a character may look, they're going to be just as equally beautiful as all the other characters you made. So what I'm trying to tell you is, like, get out of your comfort zone and try to push the boundaries and create really diverse looking characters. and not diverse just in, black or white, in different races, Asian and stuff. Make them actually diverse in their face shape, their posture, their expressions. And so this is a great way to practice, is by coming and drawing faces and stylizing them, right? Okay, so again, just see how quickly and kind of loosely I'm coming in with some of the stuff. I can't stress the importance of rhythm and movement in your line. A lot of beginner artists don't yet have that rhythm and movement in their line. Well, guess what? This is a great way to go ahead and start practicing that and getting better at it. Okay, I consider this stuff as practice. And when you think of it as practice and you're not stressing yourself out trying to create the most perfect piece, you allow yourself to actually grow the most. Okay? So allow your lines to be loose, allow them to be quick, allow yourself to make mistakes. And that's why I encourage gesture drawing so much, because you're trying to find the gesture, you're not trying to make a perfect drawing. And a lot of beginner artists need to learn that it's not about the perfect drawing. Actually, you learn the most when you're creating all different kinds of drawings, And don't get worried about, is it going to be a popular drawing on Instagram or anything like that. Draw because you like it, draw because you want to get better. And it's okay if you think only, drawing pretty girls is going to get me noticed on Instagram. Don't worry about that. Now, if that's your thing truly, and that's just what you want to draw, of course it's fine. I'm not saying what you can or cannot draw. I'm simply saying that try drawing some diversity in your characters and just see what kind of comes with it, and just have fun with it. Okay. And if you're a comic artist, right, you'll really appreciate this, because this will help you come up with your own characters, right? So I do practices like this, and then I'll turn back to my characters and I can be like, okay, well, maybe I should add this kind of feature to this character. I think this character should have a stronger jaw. I think this character should have a weaker jaw. Whatever the case may be. And this is what you're kind of doing right now, is you're kind of observing, all right, this character. And noticing how certain shapes and lines make a feature and within your style as well. Okay, so you're getting a lot of helpful information out of this that you can apply to your own characters. So don't feel bad about using reference like this to practice and study, because when you go to draw from imagination, you're going to have that visual library and you're going to be drawing so much better. So don't let anybody scare you from doing stuff like this and tell you that, this is not real art. You're learning to express yourself and how you see shapes and designs and people in the world, right? So, I don't know. I think that's pretty amazing. I think that, this is a really good way to develop as an artist. So I'm pretty much done with this one. I'm pretty satisfied with it. Alright, so that's drawing number 2. We're moving on to drawing number 3. If you are just joining in, we are drawing heads in 10 minutes. And also welcome for anyone joining in and stopping by. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move into this head. Personally, while I'm drawing this, I'm not satisfied with these faces just yet. And so a part of drawing is figuring out why you're not satisfied. And figuring out why you're not satisfied will help you develop your style, okay? So there's just something about it that I'm not happy with. It's like the line, it's both the line weight and it's also the features as well. So I don't think it's distinct enough for me, okay? So again, we're starting off with a sketch. I want this sketch to be looser. I want to see if I can push this style more, okay? Alright, so let's see what we can do with this one. Also the lag isn't helping. I think the lag is, I shouldn't be making excuses, but I do think the lag is kind of throwing off my drawing a little bit. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, go ahead and drop the opacity on this. And this time, we are going to exaggerate even more than what we've been doing so far, right? So this time, I'm actually going to make my eye bigger, right? And use this shape for the eyebrow. I like that. Okay. This eyebrow come in like this, put in this eye. The eye, I notice, is slanted downwards slightly. Okay. Something like that. get some more music playing. Go ahead and get a live going. So doing this kind of thing when where you're converting basically what you see in front of you to you know, your own style, it actually does take a lot of focus and a lot of mental energy, because every single thing that you see, you're pretty much passing it through your filter of your head and your mind, and you're making a lot of decisions all at once. Okay, so that's why you kind of hear me, or I guess I should say why you don't hear me talking, is because my brain is trying to process all that kind of information right now to be able to make those decisions to bring this drawing to life pretty much, right? Okay, so in this case we're kind of exaggerating her forehead, right? So I'm trying my best to pretty much keep these lines very smooth. Because I feel like that was one of the issues I saw in this last drawing that I made, is that I feel like the lines didn't have enough flow to them. And that's probably because I did not warm up like I typically do. And so yes, that's the importance of warming up, so that you can get these nice flowing lines, right? Okay, so for her, she looks like she has some like eyeliner on, so we're really going to make the top of her lashes kind of stick out like that, right? And now let's go ahead and draw in her mouth. Her mouth is like slightly open, but we're gonna do it in my style, which is gonna be something like this. And this line actually comes back a little bit like that. And kind of comes up like this. I draw the bottom lip like I was explaining before, but generally not the top lip. In this case I will, but very lightly. Okay, just like that. And then I like to draw in a little cast shadow underneath the neck, and so to do this without it looking too dark, we're just going to bring down the flow. Okay, and the same thing for her eyes. We're going to drop in a little bit of this, a little bit of value. Drawing in the pupil here, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to erase out a highlight and erase out a highlight on this side as well. Okay, so again, for this one, I didn't feel like I pushed it enough. I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like I pushed this one enough. Hey Brian, I see your question. I will try to answer that as I move into this next drawing here. I did like that drawing that I just did more than the previous two, so they're getting better. Okay, so let me start off again with the circle. Always start off with the circle, then I draw a center line for where the, you know, where the character is looking towards. Side plane of the head, actual head coming down. I would say her face is pretty squat. Okay, she's got a little bun up here. Okay, and so we're gonna bring down the opacity of that, and we're gonna go ahead and draw over it now. And let me just look at the previous drawings to see if my lines are too light or too dark. And I don't know, I guess I can't really tell. But I am gonna turn down my flow a little bit. And go ahead and start kind of drawing this stuff in. Just trying to be loose with it. I can see her chin does come out quite a bit, so we're gonna try to really get that and try to push that out even more. She's got a chin that's like that, right? I can't say that I'm loving my line work right now. But I guess it's one of those things where it's like, it is what it is. We're gonna change it to a 6 point, and maybe a 6 point is where I need it at, right? Okay. So for this one, I simplified the nose. However, while I was drawing it, I realized that it kind of went down too far, and I think the mouth is down too far. So nice thing with digital, you can kind of come in and manipulate it. But remember, if you're drawing traditional and you see a mistake, then erase it, okay? And then just try again. There's no harm, no foul kind of thing going on with that, right? And sometimes I'll just erase it too. Sometimes I won't manually shift it. However, if I want to just quickly see if that's the right thing to do, then sometimes I'll manipulate it, and then I'll manipulate it back, and then that way I can see kind of like the before and after, and I can tell if that's a kind of change that I want to make. Okay, so while I'm drawing this, I'm going to go ahead and answer Brian's question, which was, have I tried cross-hatching? And the answer is yes. I have tried cross-hatching. Do I still use cross-hatching? Very, very little and very sparingly, and the reason is because of how much time it takes. And since I want to be able to draw comics and actually want to be able to tell a story, I'm constantly thinking about time and how much time I have, and so therefore I make a lot of my art decisions based on whatever my time constraints are, you know what I mean? So because cross-hatching is very detail oriented and you have to make each of those lines, it's just not too feasible for me to do for comic pages and therefore character art. So I do try to simplify my shading down into something simpler. If you look on my Instagram, and I'll be posting, more and more art as time passes on, but you will basically kind of see some of the different styles that I'm playing with to be able to, do the important things, which is to be able to tell expression, right? That's one thing I want absolutely to be really good. Another thing that I want from my art style is to be able to have good design language, okay? So that's something that I'm really focused on. And so for good design language, you need to have good design shapes. So instead of worrying about shading and stuff like that, I worry about big shapes, and then I worry about basically just my colors and my color values and mood and lighting. But cross-hatching it looks so beautiful. Okay, so I'm not dogging on cross-hatching. I'm not saying that it's bad and you shouldn't do it. I'm just giving some reasons why I'm not able to implement it a lot in my art, but I do think it looks super good. So if you have the time and you're making a comic or an illustration like that, it can look really good, and it's gonna stand out a lot more than some simple cell shading or whatever the case may be. So yeah. Do you do some cross-hatching, Brian? That's a question I have for you. So okay, and I kind of like how this face kind of came out. But still, when I'm thinking about the style for my comic, I still think this is a little bit, it's still a little bit too realistic, I think. And that's personal opinion, of course. So next time, I am going to push it even more. So I think that's kind of the thing of tonight. Basically, how far can you, push the character design so that it still reads like the character, but you've simplified it and you've stylized it. Okay. And so I think I have. Let's see how many heads I've done so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so yeah, the last one will be, or the next one will be my last one. So in this next one, we're really going to try to push the style to it being a lot more cartoony and simplifying the face shape. All right, I'm gonna respond to you, Bryant. I'm just getting ready for this next drawing. So hold on, let me set up my layers and everything, and then I'm gonna go ahead and. I do see your message though. We're gonna go ahead and draw it underneath here. Set up a new layer. Switch back to my sketch brush. It's just a custom brush I made. It's really not a very complicated brush, but anyways. Alright, so now we're really going to think about my actual comic book style this time. And guys, stylizing faces can actually be kind of hard. It's actually harder than drawing the face straight on. Some people will be like, oh, like cartooning is easy, you know, it's just big eyes, and you know they'll have, you know, something to say about it. But honestly, if you try drawing in cartoons and you're trying to draw like an actual human person and you're trying to stylize, you actually kind of realize that it's not quite as easy as you would probably think it is. And actually, I'd go as far as to say that it's actually harder because you have to make a lot more decisions. If you're just basing it off of reference, you know, you're practically not thinking at all, right? But when you have to stylize it, you literally have to think about everything. Okay, so right now what I'm thinking about is this overall hair shape. I'm not thinking about the strands. I'm just thinking about how the hair frames this person's face, and that's it, right? Alright, so now that I've got the drawing started, I'm going to go ahead and kind of come back in here and be answering some more questions. So Brian said, I just started actually, I'm still learning. I think it's helping me find my style a little. And then he said, good take. Yeah, so the thing with finding your style, you have to experiment. You have to try new things, right? So try all different kinds of drawing before you decide to draw one specific way. And it's okay to decide to draw a specific way for like a while, and you're like, okay, well, you know, I really like this for right now, and I'm just going to continue with it and get really good at it, and that's perfectly fine. And actually, you never have to experiment outside of that. But like what you're doing, trying out cross hatching, you might really fall in love with just the process of it, and you just, you really like how it is while you are drawing it. It just gives you a feeling of like peace, or you might really like what the outcome looks like, whatever the case may be, whatever reason why you enjoy it. That's kind of found through, you experimenting and trying something new. Now, if you always just stayed with like pencil drawings, or you never tried picking up ink, or if you never tried this method of shading, you might not find something that might be really key to your style. You know what I mean? So it's like that cross hatching, you might come up with some new theories and ways to do it, and then that becomes really distinct, and that becomes like you can kind of become known for that. It's like, oh, have you seen that one artist? His cross hatching is just really good. I really like the way he does it, and that can help distinguish yourself, as well as it could be really fun for you to be able to do that, right? So I'm not super good at cross hatching, but I do respect the people that can do it well. And I actually bought some prints at like a comic convention, and this dude had just really crazy hatching with ink, and I enjoy One Piece, and so he drew the One Piece ship with cross hatching, and like it was like really good. Like he did a really good job with it, right? So yeah, experiment around, have fun with it. Try new mediums out. Absolutely. So as you can see with this one, I am really trying to push this shape, this face more. If you compare this one to the reference, you're really going to see like a lot of differences this time. Before I was kind of really staying with the same face shape, and just exaggerating a few things here and there. But this one, like I'm really going way more into my style, right? I'm pulling from my visual memory even more than I am drawing from the reference, okay? And I'm making decisions that I think will make the piece look better, right? So I'm not just trying to take from what's in real life, but actually not necessarily improve upon it, because that wouldn't make sense. But I'm trying to add what I would like to see, and what I would like to see is some of these shape designs, right? And so another artist might take the same photo, and when they do a drawing of it, they're going to choose to focus on a different shape or a different way to describe it, right? And that's the kind of the artist style. And it's based on a lot of things. It's based on what you like, what aesthetics you like. And so some people worry a lot about like finding their style, like and I remember in this book by Scott McCloud, he kind of mentioned that maybe the style will find you, and it kind of is that case in terms of you don't have to go out and look for it. Like, you already know what you like and what you don't like. Oh, thanks, Brian. He said, big fan of the channel. Thank you. I'm just doing this channel because I learned from many great artists here on YouTube, and so I just want to give back. But yeah, so about style. it's not really something that you like, one day wake up and you're like, this is what my style will be. I mean, technically you can like try to force your style or whatever the case may be, but just think about it in terms of like you're naturally drawn to a couple things. It could be like, I'm sorry, I'm like trying to think and draw at the same time. It could be the subject matter, right? It can be a certain subject matter that you're drawn to. It could be a certain kind of, line style that you really like. It can be a certain kind of rendering that you like. Like all these things play a big role. And so don't get caught up on like, I gotta find my style, I have to find my style. Instead, figure out what you enjoy, right? That's a better question to ask yourself. What do you enjoy? So when you go out and you see art, ask yourself, what do you enjoy about this? If you're scrolling through Instagram and your favorite artist pops up, obviously you look at it and appreciate it, but then also ask yourself, why am I attracted to this kind of art? What about it makes it stand out to you? And create like a little journal of it. I have a journal and I just write down like the aesthetics that I like, and if I can, I try to write down why, and then I start to blend stuff. I try to think of styles and things that I can do that would blend a lot of the stuff that I like together. And so that's kind of how my style has developed over the years. And yeah, hopefully that's kind of like an interesting way to think about it. Let's turn off the sketch layer, see where we're kind of at. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay guys, so that pretty much concludes it. We did 5 faces today, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom all around them so you can see all of them. Okay, so this was face number 1. Oh, let me make sure I'm still broadcasting. I may have had a glitch. Oh, I'm still broadcasting. Okay, so here's face number 1. Then we moved into face number 2, which was a side profile. Just look at how these features change. Look at how the nose changes. Look how the eyes change from face to face. Then we went into face number 3. And then, of course, face number 4. That one had a nice expression and smile. And then, of course, our last one, face number 5. And again, the purpose of this exercise is to start to see things through your own lens, through your own artistic lens. And I'll create some videos like specifically on this. These live streams I know kind of are, I'll go off on tangents here and there because I'm talking while I'm drawing. But I'm gonna create very specific videos on, creating that style and what makes good shape design, what makes good shape language, and how to, use shapes to push your drawings. Okay, so I'm gonna make videos about that. But be on the lookout, guys, for a video, not this Friday, but next Friday. We're gonna be talking about how to draw the eyes, and I'm gonna show you guys the construction of it, how to draw it in like, head-on, 3/4 view, kind of looking from behind. I'm just gonna show you guys how the eye works, and then of course when we draw the eyes like this, we're stylizing it. But I'm always keeping the construction of the eye in the back of my head, like while I'm drawing. So, stay tuned for that. If you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and tell people about it. We have a lot of fun here. I'm trying to just grow a community of artists that are passionate about drawing. And then this one is not required, but I do want to bring in people that are also into comic making. Okay, so if you know people that are into comic making and they're having trouble finding like-minded people, refer them to this channel, and yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Oh, also before I go, I have started up a Twitch. And I should put the link in my YouTube description now that I think about it. But if you type in Art Masiah on Twitch, then I should maybe pop up. I literally just created an account, so it may not pop up yet. But there I'll be having much more chill sessions where I'll probably just be playing like movies or anime or cartoons, and it's really just kind of me in my work zone, so you guys can see the behind the scenes process. So look forward to that. Oh, hello everyone else that kind of dropped in a comment. Hey, Helix the Hero, and yeah, I've seen you around. Thanks for stopping in again. Nice to see a small community who likes to draw too. Yeah, so the idea of this channel is not to really become that big, which I guess is kind of weird to say, because most people are aiming to be like top dog. They want thousands of subscribers, thousands of views and stuff. I don't really care about that. I want to create a pretty tight-knit community that's very like friendly, and we're all giving each other art feedback and advice and creating comics and just doing like peer review type stuff. So I want it to feel very personal. So that's why I say I don't really want to, I want to grow obviously, but I don't want to be huge, and I also don't want to grow too quickly. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming around and watching me draw and kind of listening. Even if you are just lurking, it's okay if you don't say anything. If you just come in for a little bit and then you have to rush off, that's cool. So just want to say I appreciate you guys. And then, oh, what's up? We have King Tenta here as well. So for those of you that don't know, I think I said it in one of my videos, but he helped me create or create my YouTube intro trailer. So the last two videos, you can see that that's the guy that animated everything for me. I did the character like design and kind of some of the roughs and stuff like that, but he did a lion's share of the work. So if you thought that was pretty dope, go check out his stuff. His links are in the description for those two videos, I'm pretty sure. And if it's not, I'll go back and make sure I put it in there. But yeah, he said, great work homie, just tuned in, but I'm loving the sketch iterations you've done so far. Definitely tune in next time. That is awesome, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll keep this going to just, before I leave and I end the stream, I just want to tell you guys my schedule, and I'll do better at like posting it and trying to be consistent with it. But this is how we're going to do it. On Wednesdays, we're going to stream at 8 p.m. EST, and we're going to do that every other week. So this Wednesday I have a stream, then next week I'm going to upload a video on Friday, and then the next week after that I'm going to have a stream on Wednesday, the week after that, video on Friday. So we're going to kind of stagger the live streams with the videos, and the way I have it planned out is that the live streams will basically be our live practice for the video that we covered in the previous week's video. So I haven't been super consistent yet. I've just been testing stuff out, testing out my overlays for my streams, and been testing out Twitch, just trying a whole bunch of stuff. But we got some exciting stuff coming in the future. Hopefully some collabs with other artists coming in the future. I'm working really hard on my story right now, so that's also a thing, and that's why I'm not super active here on YouTube and not uploading videos every week. So anyways, I appreciate y'all for checking this out. I'm going to sign out for today, but typically we do a little bit longer streams. Typically they will be 2 hours. This stream was short today because there's some other drawing that I want to get to, and I want my YouTube content to be very specific and have a lot of good info, so when people see my videos they know what kind of content that I'm creating. If you want more relaxed kind of conversational type stuff, join me on my Twitch. I'll probably stream there like Monday and Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe on the weekend. I don't know, haven't decided yet, but anyways, that's the plan. Thanks everyone for checking out the stream. Until next Friday's video, peace and love, and yeah, till next time, deuces. Alright, good night everyone.